If they want parliament, we will reduce the amount of money that goes to their constituencies. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for KU. Honorable members, I would like to welcome, seated in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, student leaders from Mount Kenya University. You are welcome to the National Assembly to observe proceedings in the House. Thank you. Honorable members, I would like to give this chance to the Honorable James Nyikal, member for Seme.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, that it is the Honorable Dr. James Nyikal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this attempt to reduce funding for carer raises two basic issues. Issue number one is the welfare of the people. Like NGCDF, the people have felt the value of carer, the way the roads have been done. Attempt to take this money to the counties will not really give a similar effect, because counties have very many competing needs and they do not ring fence funds for purposes that they are supposed to be done. It will go into one pool and it will do all sorts of things. It will not be focused on roads, so it cannot have the same effect. Point number two is fidelity to the law in our governance and in the managing the affairs of this country. Appropriation of funds is only through Parliament and through the laws. Funds to carer can only be changed in accordance with the Roads Act. If anybody wants to change it, the matter must be brought before this assembly and the Roads Act is changed. Madam Speaker, we are seeing a tendency in this country of this executive to actually do things against the law. It is not necessary for this executive to actually break the law. These circulars that officers give that are against the law have no meaning and are dangerous. I've been in government. Officers should know that any circular that is contrary to the government, if anything is done, they will go to jail. Sometimes we hear people mentioning the president's name, that is the president's directive. That will not help you in a court of law. The president gives directives in a written form, signed. That is what the Constitution says. So if you give this directive, these circulars, without a written directive from the president, even then, if it is against the law, it can be challenged. And at this particular time, with this assembly as it is, there is absolutely no need for this executive to do anything against the law. This executive can change the law any minute it wants. We know we are in this assembly. So if they want to change things, come here, use this knife that the government has now of changing the law as it deems fit. It will be okay. There's no need to do things against the law. We have seen this. We have had it in the minutes of education. We have had it in the minutes of health. Look at the admission of children, of students to MTC now through COOPS. It is illegal. Even the Attorney General has stated it is illegal. It is still being done. What is the harm of just bringing that KMTC law here to be changed so that it is in line with COOPS law? It can be done in a day. We have passed important laws, bills here in 2 days. So why are we breaking the law? Madam Speaker, I commend this committee for actually the recommendation they have made and are supported. But let me give a warning to committees. The tendency we are seeing, you are going to be manipulated from the executive. Yesterday, I demonstrated here very clearly that the minutes of our Committee of Health did not reach the order paper as we passed them in the committee. So I must tell all committees, please stand your ground. You are the vanguard against the excesses of the executive. With that, Madam Speaker, I support this report.
Honorable members, there is a lot of interest in this report, and the topmost two on this screen is the Honorable Dr. Pukose, who is not in the House, member for Entebbe, and the Honorable Omboko Milema. So I am going to give an opportunity to the Honorable Omboko Milemba, member for Emuhaya.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I read the report, Honorable Speaker, and I begin by looking at the circular itself. That number one, Honorable Speaker, the circular was not in good faith. Because why would a DG write a circular of that magnitude to regional directors indicating those changes without coming to Parliament to get the law done correctly? So for me, it was an indictment. Number two, Honorable Speaker, it's good that I also noticed the report, the committee invited him. And I also want to thank Honorable Okello Jared for having raised this matter on the Tuesday 22nd in the month of August, which made the plenary to know what was happening. I also want to indict the letter from the CS Transport, because in his answer for the reason why he allowed that letter to be written, he indicates that he was fearing for pending bills which would otherwise arise if early procurement was done. But he did not envisage that the same pending bills would occur on the carer side, on the parliamentarian side, should the early procurement have been done. So I also found an indictment on Waziri, because he anticipated that this money will go to county governments. Honorable Speaker, an institution by the name the 9th National and County Government Coordinating Summit sitting in Naivasha cannot purport to change the law. And therefore, this is the same business which many other speakers have dealt with over institutions that want to change the law through the back door. Yesterday, Honorable Speaker, I was talking about the Minister of Education. I don't want to go that direction, and we are having the same thing happening on the roads. I want to also further say, Honorable Speaker, that the country roads were classified very clearly according to the law into two types and allocated accordingly. That in all the roads in the country, we have the national trunk roads classified as A, B, and C, and then we have the county roads classified as D, E, F, and G. And Kera was given the mandate over roads in C. And I also want to raise to the House to understand that the county governments actually have their own money for roads. And they have been given a 15% of all the monies for road maintenance, which was given as a conditional grant to the county governments up to, I think, the year 2021. But later on, it was mainstreamed into the equitable share of revenue. So what is happening is that they have their money, but because it is in the equitable share of revenue, they are no longer preferring to put this money on roads, and that's why they want extra money on the road. Otherwise, they have their bits of the road maintenance fund money. I would wish to indicate that I thank the committee for having recommended that this should not go on. But I also think that the team or the committee must take care of the following. That the benefits or the position you see yourself get and enjoy in Parliament were actually put in place by those whom in the beginning were also servants here and legislators. And these positions cannot disappear under your arms as the chair of transport. And therefore you need to stand very strong so that you protect the benefits, the powers of this House, which is being now wrestled away by other institutions, especially the lawmaking process. I think with those few remarks, I really must stop. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Muhaya. Honorable members, time allocated for this motion has come to the end, and I would like to call upon the mover to reply. The mover can be magnanimous. You may make a decision to give a minute to a few members.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Before I reply, I will donate just a few minutes to, of course, not by the show of hand. I will follow the order here, the screen. I have a copy of the screen. So I will allow Honorable Kirwa 45 seconds.
Well, Chair, read the whole list so that they get short.
Okay, Honorable Kirwa, Honorable Kirago, who is a member of this committee. I don't know whether he's here. Well, Honorable Jerry Maina, Honorable Fides Bato, Honorable Karemba, in that order. Well, I see. Yeah.
I'm here. Okay. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I stand to support this report of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on this issue of the proposed reduction of the projected ceiling of the Kera roads. Madam Speaker, in my constituency, the roads that are really sustained and the roads that are passable are the roads that are maintained by Kera. And so I stand to support the committee in that we should not reduce the budget, or we should not reduce the allocation that we do give to Kera. Because when you look at the roads sustained and maintained by the national county government, most of those roads, Madam Speaker, are really impassable. They don't use their resources well, they don't use their funds well, but the little money we get through Kera, through our constituencies, we are able, and the citizens are able to see what we do with the little that we get. Instead, we should be requesting the Kera funds that were allocated to be increased so that we'll be able to maintain.
The order will be as the chair called. Please proceed, Honorable Njeri.
I rise to support this report.
It was the Honorable Kirago first. The Honorable Kirago, then we go to the Honorable Njeri Maina. Please trace the Honorable Kirago.
Madam Chair, Madam Speaker, I rise to support this report. Madam Speaker, this report has clearly indicated that, in fact, there is no other people other than this assembly that can make law. Madam Speaker, it is clear as far as the Kenya Roads Act 1999 that the allocations for various agencies is clearly indicated. Madam Speaker, this country must respect the laws that are there. And it is clear that the responsibility of allocating funds is given to this House. And Madam Speaker, we know that the effort of reducing this amount is to enable the governors to contain the members of parliament who on the ground have shown that they can manage the resources properly, because sometimes the county government cannot show what they are doing with the monies that they are collecting. For this reason, Madam Chair, I support.
Jeremiah.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to support the report by the committee. Honorable Speaker, at this moment in time, we should be discussing how to increase funding for infrastructure, Honorable Speaker, not take away or cap the same, Honorable Speaker. We still need access to good roads so that our people can have better economic development, facilitate the supply chain, and access to health facilities, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Roads Act is very clear, Honorable Speaker. We can therefore not have it subdued or overlooked by any other legislation, Honorable Speaker, unless it is amended by this House, Honorable Speaker. I therefore support the same, and I say that any other introduction is ultra vires to the Roads Act and cannot therefore be condoned by this House of Legislation. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Barto.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise on behalf of the people of Moibien to support this committee for the swift action they took and being vigilant, because as far as we are concerned, Article 945 of the Constitution gives Parliament absolute powers to make laws of the land. And in this case, the 13th Parliament. Parliament is a house of records. There was no time when we passed this amendment that we reduce carer, the 22% to 18%, Madam Speaker. And whatever the executive did by writing letters or writing memos to Parliament and directing them is in itself an illegality, Madam Speaker, and it should be stopped. The roads, which Moibien constituency is a farmer's constituency, and most of our roads are passable now, courtesy of the carer, the money which we get from carer to transform these roads. So anything that takes away that money is like taking away or being unfair.
Chair, you have 5 more minutes.
It was me, Chair. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to start by thanking the committee led by Honorable G.K. Kariuki for a very well done job. And the Commission for Revenue Allocation has no jurisdiction to appropriate resources. That is a reserve for this House, Honorable Speaker. The good roads that we have in our constituencies are good roads because of the existence of carer. And what we require actually is to earn the allocation that is given to carer and not to attempt to cut down the allocation that is given to carer, because the county governments have their own source of revenue. They are able to generate their own revenue. They can go on and appropriate their own resources to the roads that they want to do under similar funds, but not to imagine of getting resources from the carer. So I wish to support this committee and urge the CRA to find another duty to do than to cut down the resources that is supposed to go to carer. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to thank the honorable members for supporting this motion, this report. Honorable Speaker, there are these very beautiful words written over there: for the welfare of society and the just government of the people. The idea to reduce carer allocation has nothing to do with justice. It's actually a very selfish move. It's an illegal move, and it is what we would call now and void. Honorable Speaker, this money, as members have said, have stated here, the carer allocation, 22 and 10%, goes into maintenance of our very critical roads in our constituencies. And my committee has vowed to resist any attempt to reduce this allocation. Honorable Speaker, there is this commission, independent commission called CRA, Commission on Revenue Allocation. This is the body, and I have a letter where I've seen a letter where they are inviting stakeholders to a meeting next month to discuss the allocation of road maintenance fuel levy without any regard to the act that establishes KRB. Honorable Speaker, I've looked at the article at Article 216 that established this commission. And the mandate of this commission, Honorable Speaker, is to submit, it says, the commission shall submit its recommendations to the Senate, to the National Assembly, and to other entities. I don't have to mention all. It is not mandated to share revenue. It is mandated to make recommendations to Senate and National Assembly. Instead of making recommendations, they are taking a backdoor route to try and amend the Constitution, to try and share revenue, which is the preserve of this House. Changing constitution laws, making laws is a preserve of this House. And Honorable Speaker, any attempt to divert resources that are meant for our constituencies will be resisted in all terms possible, in all ways possible. Honorable Speaker, I have also seen a letter which is good news to this House and honorable members, indicating that the letter that was written to KERA by KRB has been withdrawn. I want to thank the DG of KRB for withdrawing that letter, and I want to ask, I know...
It is out of order, Honorable Alice Nganga, member for Thika Town.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I don't know even why we are thanking the RB or the CEO. I don't know why we are thanking him. Because in the first place, what had informed them to write that letter to the House as who, given power by who? Can they first answer who gave them that mandate that they can write to the House and reduce money that was meant to be that is in the Act? Rather than us thanking them, we should be summoning them.
So,
Honorable Speaker, maybe I should have said I appreciate the fact that that letter has been withdrawn.
Honorable GK, I have another point of order by the Honorable Jared Okello. What is out of order, Honorable Jared Okello?
I thank you, Madam Speaker. And from the outset, let me remind the House that I did raise this matter a day preceding our recess, and that has informed this kind of discussion, which is quite robust in nature, and I like it, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when the executive employs...
there is nothing out of order, Honorable Jared, but
that is what I'm coming to.
You have made your point.
Yeah, that's what I'm coming to.
You still have something...
yes, yes. The executive, at certain times, comes with what we call the executive fiat, where they want to overreach their mandate. And this letter from KERA is a true testament of the executive trying to overreach its mandate, Madam Speaker. Whereas a letter has been written by the DG KERA, Madam Speaker, let me just raise this matter to allow the chair.
Honorable Jared Okello, I exactly get what you are doing. You have made your point. Thank you very much. There is nothing out of order. Honorable Chair, kindly conclude your reply.
Madam Speaker, let me just finish raising this most important matter. Now, we acknowledge that a letter has been written,
Madam
what
Speaker. What is out of order, Honorable
What is out of order is this. Before the chair talked about a letter that has been withdrawn, he has gone ahead to tell us that another letter has been written collecting people's views on the same subject, Madam Speaker. So they are trying to manage us within a very short period of time.
Chair, I think, thank you very much, Jared Okello.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair, clearly on the matter raised by the member for Thika and the matter raised by the Honorable Jared Okello, I think you have something to make a comment on. Would you like to make a comment?
Yes. Honorable Speaker, there's nothing wrong with appreciating something that has been done the right way. It is, and I understand, Honorable Speaker, every member wants to discuss, to contribute to this issue.
Chair, I have so many points of order. So what I'll do, I'll just take the first one on the list. What is out of order? Honorable Jeffrey Mwangi, member for Tetu.
Madam Speaker, I think the chair should be apologizing to this House. First of all, that this seemed to have gone past him as the chair of the departmental committee. This should never have happened in the first place. So the chair owes this House an apology and should not be purporting to pass some remarks from or appreciation from a third party. Thank you.
Chair, listening to the debate, luckily I presided
I withdraw, Honorable Chair.
over the...
Honorable
Thank you very
Speaker,
much for
I
withdrawing.
withdraw.
Please proceed and reply. You don't have much time to reply.
Honorable Speaker, once again, I want to let members know that the earlier letter has been withdrawn.
Chair, bear with
and
me.
I think it's
I'll just
important.
take one more point of order from the Honorable Gideon Mulungi. I'm trying to get someone who has not spoken on this matter.
Yeah, Madam Speaker, thank you very much. Madam Speaker, the chair of Departmental Committee on Roads is completely out of order. To thank the CEO for KRB, you should be asking the CEO for KRB to resign with immediate effect. Thank you.
Mulungi, I'll ask the chair to proceed and reply. He had already made a statement on that. He withdrew.
Thank you, Honorable. As I conclude my remarks, I want to thank Honorable members for their contributions and even for standing firm to assure our constituents that money meant for maintenance of our rural roads will not be diverted to avenues that are not helpful in any way. Honorable Speaker, I know every member would have wanted to contribute to this very important matter. No wonder we have had very many points of order and interventions. I know it is all in good faith, and I appreciate you, honorable members, because you really care about your constituencies. The Commission on Revenue Allocation, Honorable Speaker, is totally out of order to require that these resources be shared with the governors. Governors have their own resources, and they should focus on using their resources the right way. Honorable Speaker, like it has been said here before, the money that goes to this allocation, you can see what we have done with this allocation. But when you go to other allocations out there, I will not mention, you will not see what they do with it. Before, Honorable Speaker, if you could add me 1 minute, Honorable Speaker, before this money was removed from the hands of the governors, they used to divert it to even the current expenses, which is totally against the Constitution. And when we started receiving this money, all of it, I think from last financial year, we have seen a tremendous improvement of our roads. Honorable Speaker, I thank honorable members once again, and I wish to assure you that the Committee on Transport will safeguard your resources and
Chair, you beg to reply. That has to go on record, please. Chair, proceed.
And Honorable Speaker, I beg to reply. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, you know that these motions have timelines. So honorable members, having established that we have quorum in the House to put the question, I hereby put the question, which is that this House adopts the report of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on its consideration of the proposed reduction of the projected ceilings for the Kenya Rural Roads Authority for the financial years 2024-2025 and 2025-2026, laid on the table of this House on Tuesday, 26 September 2023. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? As many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, motion. Consideration of the East African Community Multilateral Agreement on Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigations.
Chair, Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure.
Okay, Honorable Speaker,
You may walk to the table. Please welcome to the table.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I move that this House adopts the report on the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on its consideration of the East Africa Community Multilateral Agreement on Aircraft Accident and Incidents Investigations, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 17th August 2023, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 8(4) of the Treaty Making and Ratification Act 2012, approves the ratification of East Africa Community Multilateral Agreements on Aircraft Accident and Incidents Investigations.
Chair, I'm sorry. Honorable members, allow me to recognize these students. Normally, it's extremely important for them, and I know that the proposing and seconding may take some time. Honorable members, seated in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, we have students from Ikawa Secondary School, Chuka Igamba Ng'ombe constituency from Tharaka Nithi County. And also students from Moi Junior Secondary School, Kabarak, Rongai constituency, Nakuru County. You are welcome to the National Assembly to continue observing proceedings in the House. You may proceed, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Speaker, motion number 10, consideration of the, I move that Honorable Speaker, I request that you stand down that motion until next week. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. That request has been ascended to. Next order.
Order number 10, motion. Consideration of the protocols relating to amendments of Articles 50A and 56 of the Convention on International Civil Aviation, 1944, Chicago Convention.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and ask Honorable Kirago to second.
Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
You may proceed.
Honorable Speaker, I move that this House adopts the report on the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on its consideration of the protocols relating to amendments to Article 50A and 56 to the Convention on International Civil Aviation 1944 Chicago Convention, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 17 August 2023, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 8(4) of the Treaty Making and Ratification Act 2012, approves the ratification of the protocols relating to amendments to Article 50A and 56 to the Convention on International Civil Aviation 1944 Chicago Convention. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to request Honorable Kirago to second.
Thank you. Honorable Kirago.
Madam Speaker, I second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question, which is that this House adopts the report of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on its consideration of the protocols relating to amendments of Article 50A and 56 of the Convention of International Civil Aviation 1944 Chicago Convention, laid on the table of this House on Thursday, 17th August 2023, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 8(4) of the Treaty Making and Ratification Act 2012, approves the ratification of the protocols relating to amendments to Article 50A and 56 to the Convention of International Civil Aviation 1944 Chicago Convention. The member for Kaviani, Honorable Mbui.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, actually, I rise to query the chair of this committee, because the chair of the committee has clearly indicated to us what the motion is. But, Madam Speaker, it is important that whenever a chair is moving any motion or any bill, that he points out what it's about, what exactly it deals with, and then now, after that, members can continue to debate. But the chair has just read out exactly what is on the order paper, and that then he called someone to second, who said I second, and now members of this House haven't even known what convention is being changed, what protocol is being changed, what does, Convention, International Civil Aviation 1944, Article 50A and 56, what do they represent? What are they all about? So, Madam Speaker, I would have loved to support if I knew. Otherwise, now we are in the dark, Madam Speaker, and the chair has not brought any light or shed any light on this motion.
Honorable Owen Baya.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to raise on Standing Order 96 that we adjourn this particular debate on this motion and give it another time so that we can still debate it. It's an important report that we need to debate as Parliament, and therefore I beg your indulgence, Honorable Speaker, that under Article 96 we adjourn the debate on this motion. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Owen Baya. That request is accented to. Next order.
Order number 11, motion, report of the Kenyan delegation to the 146th Assembly of the Inter-parliamentary Union and related meetings held in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Resumption of debate.
Honorable members, this debate was interrupted on Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023, and it has a balance of time, that is 2 hours and 10 minutes. There was no one on the floor, so any member who has interest in this, you may press the intervention button. I'll give you an opportunity to speak.